Okay, so welcome. I'm going to go through a few important lessons. I'm going to begin with the C major scale and how to play it on the right hand. So you're going to use your first three fingers. One, two, three. Then you switch the thumb under. One, two, three, four, five. You can do the same here. One, two, three. One, two, three, four, five. I hope you get that. Now I want to play the C major scale across two octaves. So we're going to do it this way. One, two, three, switch, one, two, three, four, switch, one, two, three, switch, one, two, three, four, five. So we are switching on the third and the fourth, or we are switching on the third and the fourth. So one, two, three, then one, two, three, four. Then you switch, one, two, three, then you switch, one, two, three, four, then you switch, one, two, three, and so on and so forth. So that does it for that side. You can also do likewise from the right to the left. So with the little finger, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Then the ring finger will pick on the 4. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. I take it again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Middle finger, 3, 2, 1. Ring finger, 4, 3, 2, 1. Middle finger, 3, 2, 1. So you can pause the video and then practice this one separately. Now I want to expose or introduce you to the concept of chords. Now when we say a chord, we could have different types of chords, but for a beginner you need to understand what a major chord is. So when we say a major chord is formed with the 1, the 3, and the 5 of every major scale. With the 1, the 3, and the 5. So this is the C major chord. Another way to find the major chord is to play the note and ask yourself how many semitones am I going to move from the beginning note to the third note. So here we have a semitone occurring here, another semitone, that's 2 semitones, and then the third semitone, that's the 3 semitones, and then we have the fourth semitone landing on the E, which is our third note. So here, if you want to play a major chord, you calculate 4 semitones beginning from your starting key. So our starting key is key C. We have our first semitone here, second semitone, third semitone, and then the fourth semitone brings us here. So we now, after calculating 4 semitones, we'll have to calculate 3 additional semitones from the third, which is the E. So first semitone, second semitone, and then third semitone brings us here. So in this concept, you can form a major chord by counting 4 semitones. You mark your destination, and then 3 semitones, you mark the destination. So 4 semitones, 3 semitones gives us the major chord. So let's try the 4 semitone, 3 semitone on a different key. Let's start with F. So with F, our first semitone will be from F to F sharp. Our second semitone from F sharp to G. Our third semitone from G to G sharp. And then our fourth semitone will land us on A. Now we need 3 semitones. So A to A sharp, and then A sharp to B, and then B to C. So this is our first semitone, A to A sharp. Second semitone, B flat or A sharp to B, and then from B to C is the third semitone. So we arrive on the third semitone. So the first 4 semitones get us to A, and the next 3 semitones gets us to C. So when we combine, we have an F chord or an F major chord. So this is the C major chord, and this is the F major chord. C major chord, F major chord. Now let's try the G major chord. This is how the G major chord looks like. Now let's verify if our 4/3 semitones are correct. So from G to G sharp is the first semitone, G sharp to A second semitone, A to A sharp third semitone, and then A sharp to B is the fourth semitone. So this first part is correct. Now let's check for the 3 semitones. Semitone 1, semitone 2, semitone 3. Yeah, so this G major chord is correct. So far we've done 3 chords: the C major chord, the F major chord, and the G major chord. So let's see. Normally you can play a song using a combination of different chords, and this is what we call a progression or a chord progression. So if I play C, and this time around I'm going to be playing with my left hand, I'll just add one note on the left hand to accompany the chord on my right hand. So this is how it's going to look like. And on an F, I do the chord on my right hand and then one note on the left hand. Likewise for a G. So I'm trying to combine the F chord, the G chord, and the C chord. So this is a basic form of progression. So C, F, G, C. I hope you can practice this one by yourself. So this was a progression. We played the C, the F, and the G. Now let's try different combinations. Sometimes you could begin from an F or even a G and then get to an F and back to a C. So let's try playing first a C, an F, and this time instead of going back to C, we go back to the F before arriving on the C. So let's say C, F, G, F, C, F, G, F, C, F, G, F, C, F, G, F, C. So I hope you're able to grasp that one. Now let's see if we can add another chord. So the C chord, the F chord, and the G chord are known as the major chords. So we have three major chords. Now I'm going to show you how to play the minor chords. So with the minor chord, it has a different formula altogether compared to the major chord. Remember when we were creating the major chord, we used 4 semitones and then 3 semitones. Now we are going to use 3 semitones to begin with, and then we end with 4 semitones to make the minor chord. It's a bit tricky, but you need to have a clear sense of understanding. So we're going to begin on D. So instead of forming 4 semitones and 3 semitones, we are going to turn it around. We're going to begin with 3 semitones and then 4 semitones. So we have D to D sharp, first semitone, second semitone. Third semitone brings us here. Then first, second, third, and then fourth brings us here. So this becomes a D minor chord. Now let's try an E minor chord. So with the E minor, we have first semitone, second semitone, third semitone, first semitone, second semitone, third semitone, fourth semitone. These are E minor chord. So realize that we are playing only white keys. So D minor, E minor, F major, G major. We are playing white keys because we are playing in key C, and when you are playing the major scale for key C, there's no black key. Yes, but one thing I haven't mentioned is that every one chord which is formed on the first note of the scale is usually a major chord. And when you count 1, 2, 3, 4, and every 4 is a major chord as well, and then the 5 is a major chord as well. And this applies to any key you are in. So let's say I'm playing a different scale, for example F major scale. My 1 was the F, my 2, my 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I'm forming a chord on the F itself, it's going to be a major chord. Okay, normally. And then if I'm forming a chord on my 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a B flat or an A sharp if you like, this chord is also going to be a major chord. So this is how it's going to look like. And if I'm forming a chord on my C, which is a 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to be a major chord. So when you pick the scale, you identify number 1, number 4, and number 5. These groups are formed, or they are called major chords. You form the major chords around these numbers. Yeah, so we have number 1, major chord, major chord, major chord. So what I just did was in key F. Now let's go back to key C. So in key C, our 1 is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we form a major chord on the 1, a major chord on the 4, a major chord on the 5. So the question you might want to ask is, okay, what about number 2 and number 3? And even number 6? 2, 3, 6 forms minor chords. So when you're able to apply the 3, 4 semitone count, you're going to get this: the D minor, the E minor, and then the A minor. So let's see. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A major, and then I'll play the C major again. I'll skip this note. This is a diminished. Quickly, maybe you might want to also ask, what is a diminished? Normally, the 1, 4, 5 are major chords. The 2, 3, 6 are minor chords. Then the 7 is a diminished chord. Or if you're able to form a diminished chord on the 7th. So how do you form a diminished chord? So let's say to form a diminished chord, normally you flatten the 3rd and the 5th of the major chord. So normally if you are forming as a major chord on B, you would say, okay, 1st semitone, 2nd semitone, 3rd semitone, and 4th semitone, which will bring you to your D sharp. Now from D sharp we have 1st semitone, 2nd semitone between the 2 white keys, and then the 3rd semitone, which is going to be on the F sharp. So this is actually a B major chord. Now to form a diminished on this B major chord, we are going to flatten the 3rd. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 3, 5. Now we're going to flatten the 3rd by reducing it by a semitone. Then we flatten the 5 by reducing that one by a semitone. So it makes it a diminished. So this is B diminished. So let me just quickly go over it again. Every 1 is a major chord. Every 4 is a major chord. Every 5 is a major chord. So the major chords are 3 in this scale. Every 2 is a minor chord. Every 3 is a minor chord. And every 6 is a minor chord. So we have also 3 minor chords and then 3 major chords being formed on the same scale. And then we have one diminished chord, which is on the 7th. So maybe to still throw more light on minor, major, and diminished chords, I would want to use the same chord and then give you more examples. So let's say I have C major chord. How do I make this a minor chord? If I want to make this a minor chord, all that I need to do is to flatten the third. That's all. So you get this to be the C minor chord. Now let's use the semitone check. You realize that this is 1, 2, 3. So it's correct on the first half. And the next half we have from this one here is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 3 semitones and then 4 semitones. So it qualifies to be a minor chord. So this is a major chord, this is a minor chord. So we want to form a diminished chord. We will again flatten the 5th and get a diminished chord. So this is a C diminished, this is C minor, and this is C major. So let's take note of that. Any way you want to form a chord, you should be able to understand the formula you are using, whether you are forming a major chord, a minor chord, or a diminished chord. If it's a major chord, it's 1, 3, 5. If it's a minor chord, it's 1, you flatten the third, and then you have the 5. And if it's a diminished chord, you have 1, flat 3, and then flat 5. So that's it. But then within every major scale, we have 3 major chords, 3 minor chords, and 1 diminished chord, which is on the 7th. So now let's try and do a song. So we have songs like Onishe. Onishe Iyanu, you're the God of awesome wonders. I've tasted of your power. Onishe Iyanu, you have shown me so much mercy, much more than I deserve. Much more than I deserve. Onishe Iyanu. So, one classical example, the song I was singing is in a different key, but I want to teach you the song in a C scale or in a C major key. So let's do this in C. Onishe Iyanu, you're the God of awesome wonders. Sorry, let me take it again. Onishe Iyanu, you're the God of awesome wonders. I've tasted of your power. So it's a 1, a 4, a 1 again, and a 5. So by saying 1, I mean the first chord, which is a C major chord. The 4 is the F major chord. And then the 5 is a G major chord. Onishe Iyanu. Can play around it. I've tasted of your power. Sorry. Onishe Iyanu, he has done me so much mercy, much more than I deserve. Oh, there's a 6 I'm introducing. Oh, 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 oh. So on the O, I play the 1, the 4, the 6, which is the A minor, then I drop back for the 5. 1, 4, 6, 5 on the O. You're the God of awesome wonders. I've tasted of your power. So 1, 4, 1, 5. That was it. Onisha Iyanu. You have shown me so much mercy, much more than I deserve. Oh, now we're going to be adding the 6. Oh, 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 So that was it. You can pause and then take a closer look at it. So let's try another song. Maybe a very simple song like, you've done so much for me, I cannot stand it all. If I had 10,000 tongues, it still be enough. So I'll hold on with this one. I think it's it has some few new areas I would want to handle in another class. So let's just stick to our one chord. So where 4, 5, 1. Still on the 1. Where 4, 5 on my end. Oh, grandma, oh, come now. Oh, father, sell, yeah, oh, yummy, grandma. Can I go to my 2? Ye will 5, now 1. So, yummy, grandma. Ye be 2, oh, 5, 1. Yummy, oh, sign. Amen. Nina, go to know. So go to Mebo needing down. Yummy. So here I'm adding the Re, which is the minor chord, or the D minor. The D minor chord is what I'm adding to the 1, 4, and the 5. So Yummy, your sign. Amen. Nina, go to know. So go to Mebo needing down. Yummy, your sign. Amen. Nina, go to know. So go to know. Mebo needing down. Yummy, your sign. Amen. Nina, go to know. So go to know. Mebo needing down. let's see. If you have any song you want us to try, if it's a basic song, I'll be able to use the 145 and just maybe a few touches on the 2, the 3, and the 6. Yes. So let me know how you found the video. Was there anything you didn't get, or is there anything you want me to throw light on? Let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.